the two in the back should be fired. They didn't really clap that.
Okay. Just point them out immediately, Ted. We'll get. This is the real tip, by the way. This is to fire that person.
I thought he meant us. He meant us. Every time he comes on
Those two, yeah.
Did I cover up my...
Mary Elizabeth, you always feel like you're walking on eggshells.
Oh, yeah, he's a monster.
He's a monster. We've always thought. Mike Schur, what a team you've put together again. How's it feel to have... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great group of people. Mary Steenburgen joined us for season 2, which was a really big deal.
Yeah.
But in addition, we also have Max Greenfield and Jason Mantzoukas and Lisa Gilroy and Gary Cole and the Jill Talley, like a huge number of new people in the second season that really made the show super fun. David Strathairn. Yeah,
he's unbelievable, right? To just move in and be a different kind of the same character.
Yeah, he specifically, David.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was very funny to have him on the set because, you know, he showed up and he did his first scene and everyone was like, "Oh, that's a real actor."
Yes,
that's a.
Yeah.
And there's no more.
Wait a minute.
You just crossed that.
We all have to actually try hard now because a real actor has joined the cast.
Well, is there always somebody in all the shows that you've done? Do you look like one actor will go, "Okay, everybody, this is the way we treat this show"? Because all your shows are comedies, but very different from each other.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, all joking aside, it's Ted. Like Ted being the when the number one on the call sheet takes the show and the project seriously and is so is on time every day and works hard and knows their lines and cares deeply about what they're doing. It sets the tone for everybody else. Well, I mean, my first job was The Office, and Steve Carell was like that. And then it was Parks and Recreation. Amy Poehler was like that, and Andy Samberg on Brooklyn, and Andre Braugher on Brooklyn. Like, when the person who's at the top of the call sheet takes the show seriously and really cares about it, just means everyone else falls in line, and it's invaluable. There's nothing beats it.
Well, why don't we have you take you through this cast here and tell us what each person brings to the table?
Oh, God.
We have to remember our names. I'm Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah, if you could all actually just say your names.
And what you do.
Well, okay. When we were making the show, it started with Ted. Ted we went to him. He said, we wanted him to play the part, and he signed on. Then we've quickly needed his daughter. Because a big part of the show was about this man trying to sort of, reconcile with his daughter. They had sort of a strained relationship. And Mary Elizabeth just came in and auditioned, and it was unanimous, I think. It was just they seemed like a father and a daughter, which is maybe a silly thing to say, but it was really true. They just had like a lovely rapport, and they did. Then we needed the private investigator who hires Charles to work in her firm. And Lilah, it was the perfect combination of her comedic timing is impeccable, but also she just seemed like they could really be her job. She seemed like
Oh my God.
Yeah. She just seemed like a serious person who cared about cracking cases. And I had this image in my head. We actually went back and shot this. Remember, it was not in the script originally, but I was like, oh, what this needs at the beginning of the first season was a shot where Lilah in a long dark overcoat is just looking around to make sure no one's looking, and then brings a camera up and just goes. And I was like, if it's a 5-second shot like that of her with her dark hair tumbling over her shoulders and a long black coat, just takes clandestine photos of something, you'd be like, yeah, I get it. That's a private investigator.
Yeah.
And then this year, we needed a love story for Charles, for Ted's character. And we, immediately obviously thought of Mary. I can't remember. I wish I could remember exactly where it was, but I believe we talked to her about doing this before the first season was even over. I think before we had finished shooting, she was on the set, and I was like, would you want to play would you want to like really stretch yourself as an actor and play someone who likes Ted Danson?
Yeah. But it is interesting that, of course, you have a long relationship, but now you have to meet and be flirtatious
Right.
with each other. Are you guys playing? Are you thinking as the character, but also knowing your own backstory?
Well, it's the opposite of what I just did last week or a couple of weeks ago in Vancouver. I'm not going to say anything about kissing. Which is act romantically with an actor I didn't know at all, right? So that's normal, actually.
Right.
Though it's a weird thing about my life, but it's a normal thing about this job. But what we had to do was unlearn 32 years of, of knowing each other. And that was a fun challenge to like, and also part of it is made easy by the fact that the writing is brilliant, but also that he made our characters really different, So you can describe how they're different.
Actually, the opposite. No, really, reaction. It was much easier because I'm madly in love with her. She knows I'm in love with her. We're married. We're bonded at the hip. That it was easier for me to do the pretending to falling in love, because normally that situation of how do you do, hi, and now we're going to pretend to be intimate or whatever horrifies me. And it's confusing and weird and wrong. So I was able. All you see on my face, oh my darling, is guilt.
Right.
Guilt.
That is your problem.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
Yeah. Well, Mary's still glowing from Vancouver. She hasn't. She hasn't let go of that yet.
You notice the adjectives glowing, hair tumbling.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
I'm calling JJ.
Yeah. Ted, you even bring a little slapstick in this year.
Oh my
do.
God.
Really been fun.
Actually, I was thinking about that. My slapstick is really Ted trying to run as best he can at age 78. So that means I scurry close to the ground, so I'm closer to the ground if I trip and fall. But yes, it was much fun to do that. I love that.
Well, what I also think is great about the romance in this, if this show was done 25, 30 years ago, it wouldn't be, look, isn't this funny? There's two people think they're falling in love like kids. But now I think the way the world has moved, this is a natural thing. We don't expect at age 65 or 70 to turn off our lives. And in the old days, that was like, okay, you did a great race. Go sit over there for a while.
I love that about everything Mike does, basically, is it's purposeful, at least talking about this, Man on the Inside. It's purposeful that we're talking about age and, you don't give up. You don't have a shelf life as far as contributing to the world and being nurturing and caring and loving and hopeful and curious and all those things. Keep going,
Yeah.
Keep going until you can't go. And you do. There are second chances in life. So, keep your eyes open.
Sure.
Kind of thing. So I love that message.
Well, I also think that all of us can remember that our grandparents got older earlier. You know? I mean, I remember Sunday dinners and looking at people 40 or 50 and their legs not working. There's no way to fix it, and they've kept us healthier longer. So now,
They have.
So now what do we do? And also I want to bring this up with Lilah too. It was like you're talking about the way she was last season, but this season we see she's just as vulnerable with these generational things as everybody else. And I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the show is that it is one day at a time to keep these relationships together. Lilah, was this more fun for you to have some of that extra backstory?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I love Julie, period. She's was so fun to play last season when, intentionally nobody knew anything about her because that's how she wants to be seen. But yeah, to show that she's actually human and is messy and does not have it all together, knowing how much she hates that, was
Right.
really, really fun to play. And yeah, and getting to do a whole storyline with my mom. They all know, but I started shooting season 2 right after becoming a mom. I was 5.5 weeks postpartum. So that added just like a whole other layer to think about and made it, I think, a lot deeper and richer and complex. And yeah, I think it's fun. Julie's very human.
And Mary Elizabeth, the same with you. Your character is stuck with trying to connect to the kids at a certain age and your dad at a certain age. And it's really hard, and it's really more heartbreaking than any of us understand with each other because things aren't said or finished, and all of us deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we talked about in season 1 that continues through season 2 and will, keep continuing is that idea of being like the sandwich generation, right? Where you're taking care of your kids and you're also taking care of your parents, and then you get put on the back burner. And in season 2, my character, Emily, gets to look a little bit more at her own grief of losing her mother. Season 1, she was taking care of her father's grief. And also, wait a second, I'm doing this thing that I didn't actually intend to do. I just sort of found myself here, and Mona comes in and just like starts throwing firecrackers at everybody. And
Right.
she jumps up, Emily, and is like, wait, I do have dreams that I'm still interested in achieving. And so it was exciting to get to explore that.
And also, as far as looking at your dad that way, is because there's something weirdly more sad about a widower than a widow. Like, it feels like women are raised to be the survivors, but when a man loses his wife, it's just like, now what? Now what? And that's where the show started last year. And it's been amazing to see that move along. Mary, your character having that thing of, it's time to go write the song, no matter what else is happening, which is such a unique character that we've never seen before in a show. But you do have some of that with music, right?
I do. I have a weird, it's less weird now because it's become a part of my life because I think it's 18 years of having what at the time felt like a brain disorder, but I had a little surgery on my arm. They let my blood pressure get too low, and I had some kind of a little brain event that resulted in me hearing the world differently. You don't think about the sound of your brain, you think about your thoughts until your brain doesn't sound like itself anymore. It sounds like an overscored movie. And so it's hard to describe, but I eventually kind of found a way to make it work for me. And now I write music, and I collaborated with Mike and several other people, and we write a song. I won't spoil what this song does or is, but well, no, we could say it. We could say we wrote this song that Mona was quite famous for when she was young.
Yeah, which would have been early 70s type of timeline.
Very late 60s, early 70s.
Right.
Yeah, it's we played a little bit fast and loose. Yeah.
Right.
No, that was the funniest thing was that we had to. The backstory was that Mona wrote a song that was like a one-hit wonder, and she played at Woodstock when she was 18, and the math of that meant that we had to make her character older than Mary really is in real life, and so she has a
Didn't
line
go over well.
where she said, Yeah.
By the way, it's by 2 years, but they made him younger.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, how come he's younger and I'm older?
When she asked me that on the set, I knew that there was an answer, but I went blank, and I was like, and then a couple minutes later, I was like, no, there's a reason. But it's a sort of like one of those like sort of groovy late 60s, early 70s, like Mamas and the Papas kind
Sure.
of songs. And so David Schwartz, who is the composer for the show, and his daughter, and then
Troy Burgess.
and we all collaborated and like actually wrote and recorded the song. And I gotta say, it's a good song.
It really is.
I'm like super into
You
it.
had to cut a little. I wish I heard the whole one somewhere.
I know. It's like, I think we play it in the credits at the very end.
Oh,
of the
good.
show, but
Oh, yay.
It's like a very fun poppy song.
Listen for it on
You know,
Sirius.
it makes, even though you hear it later, totally believable
Yeah.
that her story was that she, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those like one-hit wonder songs that you like in the old days. It would have been like the Time Life's,
Sure.
20 CD set kind of thing.
K-Tel.
Okay, but yeah, exactly, yeah. So and Mary gets to perform it at a certain point in the season. Which
The
is
name
fun.
of the group?
Though the name of the band was Lavender Highway.
Lavender Highway. Yeah.
Good
Very
name
much
for-
Canyon rock
Yes.
music. But you were not, Mary, musical before that?
No.
Or, no, not at all.
No.
Now, I have interviewed so many, literally the greatest songwriters of all time. Brian Wilson, Robbie Robertson, it goes on. And I've never heard any one of them take credit for the song. They'll always say, it came in.
Right.
I'm out there every day, but sometimes it comes in, it drips in. It's like I have an antenna. We can't really explain it, but all of them try, and then it doesn't become this national thing where we all believe it. But it's about as close as we can come to spirituality, right?
Divinity.
Yes.
No. I don't think of it. First of all, it wasn't so much a talent that came to me. I got an obsession.
Right.
And so the obsession led to just working. Like I studied music and songwriting, and I still have trouble reading music. It's easier for me to just hear and sing what it is I'm hearing. And also the story of this song is really important to me because I feel like that's so connected to acting. It's like
Yes.
always telling stories. But I sort of feel like I had a grandmother that was extremely musical. She could play any instrument. And I just feel like maybe somehow my brain, that little channel to her opened up. I don't know. I've talked to brain people about it. And
There's a book.
yeah, there's a book called Musicophilia that Dr. Oliver Sacks wrote that as soon as it happened, people started sending me this book. But it's like, it's just never going to be fully described to me, I don't think.
And maybe we're not supposed to 100%
Right,
understand it, but we
exactly.
should at least believe that creativity itself. And Mike, I'm sure you've had this when writing. You're like suddenly in a zone, and then that zone goes away for a while, and then you're like, well, I guess, and then it'll come back again. And is acting the same way, that you just kind of push yourself along until you find that spark?
I think it's 50-50 every time I step in front of a camera. I mean, if you have good words, the odds are better that you will, get on that creative kind of mindless flow. But it's which is why I think I want to keep acting for the rest of my life, is you keep chasing that, that mindless, joyful, you have no idea, literally, even though you know the script backwards and forwards most of the time. You don't know what you're going to do or what's going to happen. You get lost in it, and that's joy.
Right.
But it's always, 50-50.
I mean, there's a reason that like in ancient times they invented something called muses that were magical creatures that came to artists and told them what to do, and they got angry at them when they weren't around, and they made offerings to them to try to get them to come back. Like this is the creative process is maddening, and there is I think it's a combination of like, some of it is just practice, right? Some of it is like you just do it enough that your brain knows how to like sort of try to find a creative mode. But I have had the experience at times of being like, I don't even really know what I am writing, but I am writing things.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean it's going to be good, but I think what it means is that there's you're just like you're in a lazy river, and you're letting the process kind of like take you on whatever journey you're going to go on. And that's really fun. Like, it's great when that happens. It's better than the alternative, which is like banging your head against a wall over and over again, trying to write one joke that you think is mildly funny, which is half the time.
A surfer really has to practice to be good, but he's not the wave. You know what I mean? You have to be prepared to catch the right wave. But if you go out there and there isn't any wave, there's not much you can do with it.
You're going to sit on a surfboard.
What's also interesting to me in the stuff that happens is that you can create something for whatever reason that any of you have to want to do this work. But it can mean something so different to so many people in the audience. And when you make comedy, a lot of times people will be going through something very hard in their life, a breakup, the loss of somebody, and you just have that one show that you're waiting for that can make you just exhale a little bit. And I'm sure you've heard this, Ted, throughout your careers, because you've been involved with some amazing shows, and most of them are still in reruns. And there's so many things that you have done, I think, that has brought real joy to people.
Very blessed in that way. Yeah, definitely. I get to walk around with people smiling at me because they remember a moment that I was part of. And this is really special because I don't think we talk about the scary part of aging, that there is memory loss, or can be, that there is grief, there's finality, there's all that stuff. And to do it with such grace and humor, there was a lot of gratitude. It touched a real nerve,
Yeah.
And it's kind. That was another nerve that was touched that people kind of crave, a certain kindness.
There is a certain kindness, and you're right. There is an acceptance as we grow older.
Yeah.
And the worst part of it is losing family and friends through natural, just life things, and learning to accept that.
I'm still in the mode of, tell me exactly what happened. Okay, so they died, but I won't do that.
Well, yeah.
This is something I can skate around.
And that's how we all have to live it, with these things that are happening. But you guys have found a way to make it, I think the word is communal, because it's all about connections.
Well, part of the show's based on a documentary called The Mole Agent that came out a few years ago. A woman named Maite Alberti did it. It's from Chile, and it's great, and I recommend everybody watch it. Part of what really touched me about it was it's a story of a guy whose his wife passed away, and his life is getting very small. And for some reason, he just follows this instinct. He answers an ad in the paper that says, it's one of the greatest want ads of all time. It says, wanted, like, man 75 to 85, good with technology. So funny. So unintentionally funny. And something compels him to break out of his small little world and try and do this, and it ends up being really, it kind of saves his life, and it because he goes out and he meets people and he becomes friends with people, and he has these experiences he wouldn't have had, and the people he meets, their lives are made better by meeting him, and it's just such a lovely little story. And the thing that I kept thinking about when I watched it, which is what we try to do in the show, is to make the point that, like, there are things that are sad about aging. Certainly, you lose friends and family. You perhaps go through some health problems. This is the best case scenario, right? This is what we're all hoping we get to do.
Right.
And so while it's scary and there's grief and there's sadness, like, this is the best alternative of all of the alternatives. And so to do a movie about that and then to do a show about that, I thought was a good way to just discuss something that it's hard to see sometimes. It's hard to see when your parent or grandparent or someone you know or love is suffering health ailments or having memory loss. It's hard to feel gratitude for that, but you should in some way, because it's like, wow, you've won the race. You lived long enough to get to the point where this is how your life goes. So, it's a double-edged sword for sure, and that doesn't mean it's not sad, but it's a sadness that is only possible when you've had a lot of joy and success in terms of just making it through the rat race that we're all running,
Yeah, it really is the strangest thing. And I was saying to a friend the other day, the guy who was so great with the 49ers, and he goes, Joe Montana? And I go, yeah, I should have known that.
Yeah.
But that's where it goes. Just those little things. It's not like you can't find your way home,
No.
But
There's the line in the first season when Charles is talking to his friend Calbert, and Calbert's like running through what happens to you as you age, and then he says, and then the nouns start to leave. Charles goes, the goddamn nouns. That is a direct conversation that I just turned 50, and I had that conversation with my wife, that exact conversation where we were driving home from dinner, and I couldn't remember someone's name, like a person I've known all my life. And she did the same thing your friend did. And went like, Bill? And I was like, God damn. Like, what is happening to the nouns? The people, places, and things. They just, like, you go to that file cabinet where the name has always been, and you open it up and the file's empty, and it just drives you crazy. And so, again, count your blessings. Like, if you get to the point where the nouns start to go, that means, you've had a lot of luck in your life.
To be fair, though, I'm 36 and the nouns are dicey for me.
Yeah.
But you just had a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
Sucked all the nouns out of you.
brain.
Check in with me in 6 months.
My
and see how it
wife,
feels.
when she gave birth to our son, William, which is now, 17 years ago, she, after like 3 months or 4 months later, she was like, I'm going to go get my hair done for the first time and forever. So she went to her salon, and they said like, oh my God, you had the baby. And she said, yeah. And they said, what's his name? And she forgot his name. And so she said, his name is William. And she said like, it's Ryan. His name is, and they're like, Ryan, I love that. And she went back for a while. Every time she went back, they'd be like, how's Ryan? She'd be like, he's great.
And she had to find a new hair place.
Yeah. You can't admit that you got the name of your kid wrong. So she's like,
Scene, by the way.
yeah, there's a weird part of Los Angeles where our child has a different name.
But Lila's right about one thing, that your generation gets hit with such constant information so quickly that most people I know now, no matter what age, struggle with reading a novel. And I used to have a novel a week going my whole life. Yeah. And now when I'm reading, I'm like 2 chapters before I touch the phone. You know what I mean? I'll make up little rules for myself. Yeah. But everybody's brains gets attacked now.
They should put more dancing kittens in novels, and then we pay attention to them more. It's the novel's fault.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if there was a real kittens. That's the other kid. Can I trust these kittens actually exist?
Evidently, the chicken on the back of the pig that gets on the trampoline, I was heartbroken when my son goes, Mom, that's AI.
Yeah.
Hearing also goes. And
yes.
Alex Elderman, he has this great comedic bit where he says, there's a phrase that will save you. It doesn't matter what is being said. And in my case, I take it doesn't matter what I heard or didn't hear. It's, can you believe it?
Ted, you've said that to me so many times.
Can you believe it? Crazy times we live in.
I feel like I just go wild.
Wild. Yeah. But we are in this thing where you're supposed to know somebody yelling something out at Iowa and another. What do you think of that? I'm like, I don't, it's happening all so fast and none of it stays. None of it stays.
Well, we're not supposed to experience this many things. That's not like there's the thing about like, you can't keep more than, it's like 200 names in your head, really, because when humans were evolving, like the little clusters that we were in were like, they wouldn't be more than like 150 or 200 people big. That's just how like the, primitive man evolved. And I think that we're not supposed to have more than like, whatever 500 pieces of information hit us every year.
Yeah.
And now we have 1,000 a day. Like, and it's wild when you see something online and you say to everyone, like in our writer's room or wherever, like, did you see the thing that so-and-so tweeted about whatever? And everyone has seen it. And it's like, how is this possible? How are we taking in this much information?
Yeah.
And the nouns, the poor nouns that we used to know are just like being crushed. They're being pushed to the side because now we have to reserve some brain power for the chicken that's on the back of the pig that's on the trampoline that we all saw. And then the follow-up discussion of like, no, that was AI. And then the follow-up to the follow-up of like, what's OpenAI doing this week and why are they doing whatever. So I think some of it is not our fault, but it, like you're saying, unless you create rules for yourself of like, I am not going to engage with this. I am going to sit down and calm myself and read a book or like sit and talk to someone. It is, I mean, you know, it's the Bo Burnham interview. Now I'm doing it. The Bo Burnham interview he did recently where he was like, these companies are coming for your attention. Like that's what's happening is like they're colonizing your attention span. And if there are chunks of your life that are where your attention is elsewhere, they're trying to grab it and refocus it on whatever they're offering.
So it's like put down your phone and watch A Man on the Inside. You know what I mean?
Oh, smart.
Well, I do think,
that's good.
I am.
Oh, she's not. She dropped it.
Go watch it.
She dropped it, Mike.
I am happy. I have my kids are 17 and 15. I am happy when they are watching a television show.
Right.
So funny because when we were kids, our parents would be like, that TV's going to rot your brain.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, thank God they're watching TV. It's 23 minutes long instead of 18 seconds, you know?
Story structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandparents were shocked that I could just keep watching show after show. They understood you had a show, you know, and I like, shh, Mike Douglas is on right now. I think he's bringing out Carlin in 15 minutes. But they
Can you imagine your grandmother watching a commercial for a butt deodorant?
That's really. I can't even imagine my dad doing that. My father struggled with HBO. He would get up and walk out as we were all watching. But, you know, that is another thing about this show is no matter what age, you're also supposed to keep up. You know what I mean? Where it's somehow funny that somebody doesn't know how to use TikTok or know what Grindr is.
Well, one of the
Don't worry about it. I just said, don't worry about it.
one of the best things about detective stories to me, the reason that I really like writing this show, is detective stories are methodical. They are about like slowly observing and taking in clues and like piecing things together and moving really deliberately through the world. It's a perfect job for Charles Neuendijk, former engineering professor and intellectual. It's why it works well that he's gotten this new gig, because it requires like just you have to move slowly and deliberately. And that is an antidote, I think, to what a lot of modern life is like, where it's like, you know, go, 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 more, more, more. And that's been really fun to like write a story about a guy who has to just move very deliberately and slowly through his world.
Also, Charles lives in maybe my favorite house in any movie or TV show.
Yes.
How did you guys come across that house? Was this luck or?
Yeah, it was scouting. We found it. It's in the eastern part of LA. It's where is it? Like it's so
Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock, yeah. And it's at the end of a dead end street, and it's just like a beautiful. We actually recreated it this year. Perfect.
So trippy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
When
trippy.
you watch the Thanksgiving episode, it's shocking that it's a set.
The
but
set,
it looks
It's
exactly like
Yeah, we'd
the
be like,
house.
let's go outside, but you're still in the hangar. And there's wind blowing through the trees, you know.
From fans.
Yeah, they've done their great.
Yeah,
great job.
it's a beautiful house, but it's at the end of a cul-de-sac and it's up a steep hill, and it's a little hard to get to. So we just we do an entire episode where Charles has a Thanksgiving at his house, and so we just recreated it on a soundstage.
You know, with Ted and Mary, I imagine both of you saw each other's work before you met, right?
Yep.
Do you remember, Ted, the first thing that you saw her in, or?
Yeah, I think it was Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell.
What a movie. What a movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Film. For me, well, we met at an audition that I had been cast in Cross Creek by Marty Ritt, and he had a lot of guys come in and read to play opposite me in that. And that's where I first met him. And I remember looking at him and going, too handsome.
Too handsome.
And then he said something very funny. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
That's because funny's my thing. Like, that's what I look for. So anyway, then cut to, we're both married many years, lots of water under the bridge. And, I'm going through a divorce and Cheers is on now at 10 o'clock at night. So I'd put my kids to bed and then go in there. And it was, you asked about shows that give one solace.
Yeah.
Mine was Cheers, And it was just like there was something so comforting and beautiful and brilliant, and the writing and every single person on it was just brilliant. And little did I know, I'm going to be sleeping with
and that person was Rhea Perlman.
Once. It was a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time. First thing I remember seeing Ted in was Body Heat, and you played
so good
as such a character. And I remember that you danced, just in front of your friend on the boardwalk. And I'm like, no one gets it, but this man is really charming, and I think you could do a lot of things. But it was, it's always that amazing thing that we go back with people who we kind of feel like in the back of our heads, we got before everybody else did. But you have an entire show, even your guest stars come in like that. Now you have such great guest stars this year.
Yeah, it was a real murderer's row. I mean, the season 1 was so much about loss and grief, and season 2 we wanted to be about romance, and that meant that it needed to be a little brighter and a little sunnier, a little more fun.
Right.
And so we just brought in all the funny people we could think of. Max Greenfield plays a big role. Gary Cole, Lisa Gilroy, Jason Mantzoukas. Like, we just called all these funny people that we knew and said, can you come be a part of this? And I think the show, it still feels like the same show, but it's definitely more comedic, more overtly comedic, because Charles isn't going through this really deeply sad thing in his life. He worked through that with his daughter and through the process of, making new friends and stuff. And now he has room in his life to start a new romance, and that, romance and comedy go together and always have. And so when we wanted the show to be about this new love in his life, we just wanted the whole show to feel a little sunnier, and that led to the stars.
I also love that you conscientiously, sorry, I stepped over.
No, please do.
Brought people from Pacific View,
yes,
retirement home, into this year as well, because I think people fell in love with the group at Pacific View, and I think it will be comforting to know that they're still part of Charles's community.
Yeah. Yeah, you use them as your crew at certain points and bring them in. But also, when you're saying he's not going through as much, which is really sweet, is he notices when other people are in those places, and he reaches out and pulls them into that community. I don't want to give it away because there's one that takes place in like the last episode.
Right.
But you could choke up watching that scene, because you see somebody who would have just went away, and Charles said, here's a spot, and he gets no credit for it, which is also hilarious.
Yeah.
Mike, a lot of people online seem to be talking about Easter eggs with the show all the time. Is that done on purpose, or?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think it's very fun to just bury things in the background of shows. I always love it when I'm watching something and there's like a little tiny reference to another show. And so, this season takes place on a college campus, and there's kiosks everywhere that have, flyers on them and stuff. And so every single flyer on the kiosk is like a little reference to some other show. A lot of them are Good Place references. There's a flyer for a Dance Resolution, which was Jason Mendoza's 40-person dance crew in Jacksonville, Florida. Like, they're apparently performing at the college where Charles is working. There's a poster for Death Canoe 4, which is a movie, a showing of a movie, and that was from Parks and Recreation. Retta's character would live tweet movies, and they screened a movie called Death Canoe 4 where she was just live tweeting it the whole time. It's tiny little nothings in the background, but in my mind, it's like, you've got to put something up there. You might as well make it something that someone might get some pleasure out of if they happen to notice it, you know? So we try with every like sign, you know, on the campus, every street sign, or like, you know, every name of every building. I'm a Celtics fan, and every single building on the campus is named after a member of the 2024 world champion Boston Celtics.
It is funny. You'll be working in a scene and look up at a sign and be like, wait a second.
I just love that stuff. I think it's completely harmless, right? If you don't get the reference, if you see that something is called Horford Hall, you're like, okay, that seems like a normal building. But if you then think about the fact that Al Horford was the backup center for the Celtics, and that's in your brain, and then you see another building called the Pritchard Center for Research or whatever, and you're like, wait, Peyton Pritchard was also on the 20th. And you start to put it together, that it just becomes this little weird bonus fun thing that's going on in the background. I love that stuff.
We were talking about shows that, the way Mary put it, that give you solace, which I just love. But Mary Elizabeth, you're on a show like that, and you're basically on 2 hit shows at the same time.
Seems like you need to cast me in your show, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am. I'm so lucky and grateful. And my husband, Charlie Day, who is one of the creators of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, is home right now with our teenage kid. And in the writer's room for season 18 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Season 18.
Yeah. I was 25 when we shot the first season. I was 20 years ago.
It broke the record, right? Isn't it the longest running show?
Live action comedy. Yeah.
That's wild.
Keeps
man.
getting qualified, but we'll take it.
Yeah. But, Ted, this is something that didn't happen when you started. You weren't going to be able to work a couple different shows. And I imagine when Cheers ended, there must have been a part of you like, well, I'll never be able to, have that same kind of relationship.
I bypassed all that worry because I blew my life up. I was such a hot mess that I wasn't even thinking about career.
Uh-huh.
And I recommend it highly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was it about that took that thinking out of it for you?
About my life?
Yeah, about your life. Yeah.
Different podcast. No, I was just working on myself.
Yeah.
It was time for me to grow up, and which, thank God, because the universe wouldn't have even put me in the same hallway as Mary Steenburgen if I hadn't grown up. So
yeah,
that's what I was doing. I was preparing to meet Mary.
So
Literally.
yeah. So it wasn't so much about career for you. It was more about just life itself.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. Yeah. But then you keep coming back with great show after great show.
First off, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy on a set. I'm pleasant to be around. This counts for a lot. And then I've been blessed by writers. I've been blessed by being around good writing. And I am not sitting there looking at a bunch of scripts and making these wise decisions. I am at heart a contract player out of the 50s. I'm happiest when somebody says, take your fireman hat off and put this cowboy hat and go over to stage 13. And I have been blessed by meeting, and being around great writers and great writing. And I like to go to work. I really love acting. And I think that combination has allowed me, and now I hooked up with Mike, who said, I'll take you into the twilight years. Follow me.
Follow me. But, I guess you've all done things that you're like, well, there's no way this can work. You know what I mean? Whatever show or project, movie. But then you go and do it anyway because you act, right? But is there any chance to get over a bad script and make something through good acting work if the script stinks?
No.
No, you'll be called one of those actors who's good in everything.
Yeah.
That's the best you can get. You'll never make a
Yeah.
bad script a good movie. I don't
And it's
think.
not fun.
It's not fun at all.
No. I mean, the difference is the writing. The difference in the joy you feel when you rehearse a scene at home, when we run lines together, we're laughing at what we get to say and do. We're delighting in it or moved by it or whatever it is. But I don't think any amount of good acting can make up for bad writing.
Or somebody came up to you or told you the other day, "Oh, you steal every scene," and you go, "Oh."
Like that's not a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
Because it just, what you want is this, which is all these brilliant actors or everybody's doing
Yeah.
at the height of what they're doing and with great writing. And you walk on the set of Mike's shows, and I mean, even the ones where I haven't been there, I know so much about it because of 32 years with him. And it's like people are happy to go to work and they're happy with each other, and the makeup trailer of Man on the Inside is hilarious and fun. And yes, Ted is the butt of every joke. And yes, it's mainly women in there giving it to him.
Yeah.
But like he knows how to take it. So it's fun.
Isn't that an important thing in life, is to know how to take the joke as just as...
I made one mistake. I mentioned that I was a lactation expert.
A lactation expert.
And we will never stop here.
Oh my God.
My daughter was a doula, and I was being supportive, and I was hearing everything. And I didn't say I was a lactation, but I did. No, somebody said I claimed that was the butt of the joke.
It's been going on for so long that I'm like, so Ted's a lactation expert.
Yeah.
I was taking interest in my daughter's work. And I didn't, now that I hear me say it, I didn't really claim. I looked up and saw three women's faces go, "Ugh."
It's so funny.
Sorry.
We have to wrap this up because you guys have to go around and explain.
Don't end on that.
Yes. We'll end on that. Is that the best way to get it? Yeah. But here we are. You have a great season 1. You have an even better season 2. What are you guys hoping happens in season 3? Where do we take this?
Well, should we be so lucky, the writers are working now to plan ideas, and I don't want to even make predictions because it's very early, but the show takes place in San Francisco, and I love that city. I always have. I loved it the first time I went there 20 years ago and continue to love it. And I think one of the things we would like to do is shoot there more and really kind of show off the city, because I think it's a very weird place and it's a very beautiful place. And also, like, cities are like being attacked right now in very weird ways, and the way that cities in America are described does not resemble in any way my experience of living in them or visiting them. And so I kind of just want to make that season 2 is a little bit of an argument in favor of liberal arts education, and I think season 3 I would love to make a little bit more of an argument for just what cities are and can be and how they function. So that's a very vague thing to say, but I love cities. I think they're the lifeblood of this country. I think that they're places where enormous numbers of people go and live and commune and interact with each other in ways that are very important. They are not horrible hellscapes that need a federal intervention, in my opinion. So I would love to just show off the city and make an argument on its behalf.
First of all, I love that. I'm crazy about that. And when each city is unique, and I feel like that happened more when I was younger, that if you would go to Miami or Chicago into where you're like, these people are completely different.
Yeah.
They eat different food. I mean, I was just in New Orleans. That food and culture does not play 50 minutes outside of there.
No.
Right.
But you get there and you're biting the head off crayfish, and you're listening to a guy play tuba and trombone, and you're like, this is great.
It's amazing.
And then when you leave, you're like, I don't even know what I was doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not me.
There's a donut and coffee that you can only get in that city, and it's amazing. Like that's what I mean. It's like these places are vital and interesting. Cities have been the centers of culture in every nation on earth since the beginning of earth. And I feel like they should be celebrated more than they're celebrated.
And they get down and they get up. You know, Philly was scary when I was a kid. Then people went and, turned the city around. It seemed like at the same time that New York turned around. I don't know if we even know why all these things happen.
They go in waves. They have up times and down times. They have problems and solutions. And I think they're just fascinating places.
Here's what I love about everything that you guys are doing. It's a great cast. It's great writing. But the themes of every year that you're all able to attach and bring through, it makes a Man on the Inside a really unique and great show. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's keep doing this.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, really fun talking to you. Really nice.